Hello YouTubers, it's Bill, and today we're going to be doing Cooking with Chef Bill. I have a slow cooker, which I think you've seen in previous episodes, and I have some things I'm going to make into, well, see if you can guess. I've got some ham, some split pea, well I guess that gives it right away, doesn't it? Split pea soup is what I'm going to make. Carrots, onion, broth, bay leaves, that sort of stuff. Split pea soup. Stick around. It says right on the package that peas are a natural food and there may be little stones inside, so you have to look them over pretty carefully. I've never done that before, but maybe I should. So this could be like one of those color blindness tests. What number do you see spelled out? No, you don't see it? Okay. So the peas go in, and this recipe calls for 2 pounds of peas and 10 cups of broth. I just don't have a cooker that big, so I'm going to use 1 pound and 4 cups, maybe a little water, and then ham and onions and carrots, things like that, celery. When I think about celery, I think about the 2 kinds of celery. One, there's eaten celery, that's the part down here, and then there's flavor celery, that's the part up here. I'm going to use both in this soup. I'll cut off large pieces of the top with the leaves, and those will go in for flavor, but I'll take them out before I serve it. So in goes the flavor celery, and now I'll chop the eaten celery. There you go. There's the eaten celery, so I'll put that in. And then next comes the I guess the carrots. You like carrots, don't you? Of course you do. If you buy, if you like to wear pants every day, or you have a hat that the brim goes, all the way around the head, you might have bought, baby carrots or carrots that were prettier than these, but I didn't. I peeled the carrots, and I'm gonna serve them that way. I think that'd be better. These carrots are cut small enough that they'd have to be a warning label if they were a small toy made in China for a child under 3 years old, but they're just about right for me for this soup, I think. I got most of them in there. If I was a good cook or somebody professional like Buck, I would probably not use the minced garlic that I have in a jar, but since he's not here, I'm going to use 1 1/4 spoons, bigger spoons of it. Well, it says to use half a yellow onion, and I don't have a yellow onion, but I have a purple onion, a Bermuda onion, I think they're called. And, I like onion, so I'm going to cut this whole thing up and put it in. Maybe it'll be an onion and pea soup when I'm done. And in go the onions. Or the onion, I should say. Onion pieces, of course. All right, so that's in. So my mom always says you can put bay leaves in things and cook them, and they'll give flavor to the pot. But don't ever eat a bay leaf. And I don't know why that is, because I think if they were poisonous, like my mother said, you wouldn't. Maybe I'll have to do some research on this. Can't ask Mom. My mom always said bay leaves, you can put them in, and probably you should, but you should always fish them out and never ever eat a bay leaf that's been cooked. They're poisonous. Again, so why do we do that? So here's a helpful hint for some of you budding chefs. If you don't have room in your spice drawer, as I don't, here's my spice drawer. That's the ones I use most of the time, I think. But if you don't have room in that for all your spices, you can do what I did. Use a silver Sharpie marker pen like this and write the name. There's cardamom, dillweed, chipotle, garlic powder, chili powder. You can write the name of the spice on top of the jar, and then you can find it easily just looking down into it. Helpful hints from Chef Bill. And I think that's his last. Comes a big, well, before the broth, comes a slab of ham, which I've cut into large-sized diced pieces, and I put that in. I hope there's room for the broth. Otherwise, I'm in big trouble. If you were going to make this with a vegetarian flavor, a blend version, you would probably use vegetable broth, but I happen to have this chicken broth here, so I'll use that. If you have a jar of, or a plastic paper bottle of chicken broth that's been in the back of the refrigerator for, since last Thanksgiving, maybe you don't want to use that one. So the recipe calls for heating up 5 cups of broth, heating it in the bowl of stove before you put it in the slow cooker. I think it just gets it going sooner. And I think last here comes the broth. So I'm going to pour the broth in, and I may add some more water later if there's room. Oh, it looks like there is some room. Good. I'll add that now then. And so the broth is in, and now it's time to turn it on and put it on high for let's go 6 hours. Let's see how that goes. Alexa, set the alarm for 6 hours from now.
6 hours, starting now.
There you go. All right, so here's where we are, probably at the 6 hour mark or close to it. We've got a soup. The peas are finally cooked, looks like. So I'm going to let it cook a little more because I think the carrots are not quite done enough. Maybe I should have made them, you know, smaller, but I didn't. So, another hour. All right, so it's been like 6 or 7 hours. Let's see how it looks. Oh, it looks delicious, and I've been having some soup along the way. You can tell by the volume level here in the bowl. But it's a very good soup. Delicious split pea soup with ham, and there's my finished platter for you to admire. Thanks for watching, YouTubers. I hope you enjoyed this come along with Bill, the Chef Bill, and cooking split pea soup.